it's important that we don't spend our life comparing ourselves too strongly to one another. I think we can be inspired by other people. We can sort of look on and see someone maybe achieving something we want to do, and you can sort of strive towards it. But don't be so hard on yourself, because everybody that got somewhere came from somewhere. It's like I see it a lot where people, especially I think younger generation, they look on at the older generation and they kind of want what they've got, but they want it now. And it's took people a long time to gain skills and accomplish things to be able to have those the wants that someone else wants. It's like people just want to skip stages. They just want everything now. They feel so self-entitled. But of course, they can go the other way as well, where maybe you look on at someone and they're refined and they've gone through a lot of experiences to become who they are, and maybe you look on and think, I want to be like that. But it's like, life is growth. Life is growth. I'm going through a complete transition right now in my life as I speak. I hadn't been on holiday for like 15 years, until last year. Life got in the way, finances, but it's just life in general. It reached a point where it just wasn't on my priority of my list. I just felt that holidays were very expensive for such a short window. That's how I felt. So I'd rather spend my money on other things and forgo that, because it's just an expensive luxury that was just so unnecessary. So then I go on holiday last year, and for me, it's the best part of my year. 2 weeks of, the best part of the best part of my year. So a 2 week window was a beautiful moment, and it's like, it's opened my eyes now, and it shows me that I think having plans in place, even if you're having a low moment or life feels like a struggle or very heavy, you've got something to look forward to. I think it's really important that we have things to look forward to. So my point really is, someone that looks on at others, maybe you look on and judge them in a moment, but you don't realize they will transcend and outgrow that. So I was a gamer for a long period. I still play video games now. I find it's a great way to detach and just unwind. It just takes you away, especially when you're on your own. It doesn't hurt anyone. And like I said, I think it's great for healing, really. It helps you go through some things. But over the past year, I've been selling a lot. I've downsized an immense amount. Sometimes I look on and go, damn, I miss it. I want it all back. It's annoying. I miss it now. I want it because I want it for the single moment. But it's a huge investment, and I don't see myself going down that route again. But you never know. If finances weren't a problem, maybe I could, and it's not such a big deal. But it's a huge investment. But the point really is, I'm looking on at my life now, and I'm like, what's important to me? What do I want? What do I want from my life? Of course, I want a partner, I want a relationship. I want to have that companionship, someone to sort of like spend my time with, share moments. I think that's really essential for the human experience. We can talk about being alone and going through these ups and downs and growing and stuff, but I think eventually it has to be for something, and it's a bit sad to live your life alone forever. So that's a big part of my life that I want, of course. But the next part, of course, is I do want to travel a lot more. I've enjoyed, like I said, I enjoyed that holiday. And if I can get to the point where I'm far freer in the future, where life allows me that freedom, the financial freedom, but the time, I'd love to just like go on, explore, go on more holidays. I have a holiday booked in May this year. Crete, Greece again. I loved it last year. I'm like, if I had the money, I'd buy a place there. It's for me, it's like paradise. I love it. I hired a car towards the end of the holiday. Got to drive a bit aggressive like the locals. They were a bit unhinged, to be honest. They sort of drive at you and you're just like, well, when in Rome. So it ended up a bit kamikaze. But rather than get a coach back to the airport, because we got a coach to the hotel, so I hired the car that day. So we went to the beach and whatnot. And then I drove back to the airport. And I thought that's better than waiting for a coach. I don't particularly like heights, so as we're driving, it's like the cliff. I didn't realise, because when we were on the coach, it was on the other side, which didn't have the cliff, and it was late at night. So I'm driving. I'm like, holy shit! I'm right next to the freaking side here, and I don't like heights. So I'm trying my best to lean, because that's how I am. And the crazy thing is, they're nuts in Greece. You've got road markings on a main highway. and people were driving with their car in the center of their car on the lines. So they're straddling two lanes. And you're like, freaking hell, I've got a lunatic over here and I've got a freaking cliff over the side here. So I'm just like zooming, trying to get away from these people. But it's these experiences, that'll stay with me. The fact that even just that it felt like the Wild West in driving, Um, but I don't really get intimidated on the roads. I like driving. Um, yeah, I like it. It was like some of the roads were really tight, and we're trying to like get this car down. But I can drive. Um, but yeah, it's these new experiences, and for me, that was eye opening. It's like, but again, if someone was to judge me before that and sort of dismiss me and think, oh, I can't be with someone who likes gaming. Well, you don't know who I'm going to become later. Um, I'm always evolving, always changing, but then so is everybody else. So you might meet a nerdy person. You might meet someone that's into something. It's a bit maybe you don't have an interest in yet. It doesn't mean one day you won't have a similar interest in it, and there's no reason to say they won't change themselves. We grow. So the point really is, don't be quick to sort of judge someone because we're all going through certain situations, like timelines. We're on a certain timeline of our life. Sometimes we are sort of at a place where we're just protecting our energy at the moment. We're trying to sort of manage the best we can, and then we transition, and then a new part unravels. But yeah, my life is changing now. I'm sort of leaning more towards that experience. Really, I just want to enjoy life more. I feel like I've gone through a huge healing period of isolation, like huge. I've gone through a lot of trauma, and it's took me time to work through that trauma. But I think I'm very different to a lot of people because I don't just jump into relationships. I'm not someone that's looking for validation from externally. I'm not looking for it from someone else. I'm seeking it from me. So I'm always working on myself and fine tuning. So I have a high expectation of myself, um, and because of that, I won't really accept any less from someone else. If you like, I'm looking for the right relationship. I don't see the point of wasting my time in a relationship that I know won't work. So I'm not interested in that one night stands, short lived relationships. It doesn't interest me because for me, it's just another. I've been through enough trauma in my life. I don't need to bring chaos unnecessarily into my life, and that's how it always ends. Again, I'm an observer. I watch people. It's always the same. Very rarely does a relationship end amicably. I think the only way that really works is if someone was like best friends before, and there's like a respect between you before all that. I think otherwise, most relationships are just chaotic at the end. So I'm not eager for that, but for the right person, of course. Um, so I've been on an immense healing period, a solo healing period. It's been long. Yeah, it's been long. I think the trouble is, like, I did a video about the first dates, and some people can get to the point where I think they put a block up so much that they don't let anyone else in. I'm not at that stage. That's not what I want. I want to share my life with someone, but they have to be special. It's not to say that I am the best person in the world, but I just know my value. I know what I bring. I know what I want in my life. And that's what it is. It's not like an unrealistic expectation, but we all have an expectation. Um, but yeah, I'm excited about my future, to be honest, because I've grown a lot. I've matured a lot. And it's like I've just had a huge focus on being the best version of myself. And that takes a lot of healing. That takes a lot of work. You have to constantly just be checking yourself and sort of like, is this serving you? What do you actually want in your life? Who do you want to become? Like, where do you want to be? And keep shedding the layers, It's just, or you can just take the easy option and just say, forget it. I'll just be this frustrated version that's stressed all the time and I'm not happy. And I don't know why I'm not happy. The reason you're not happy is because you don't even know what you want. Don't even know who you are, really. You don't know. So much social conditioning has put so much weight and expectation on you. You just forget who you are, and so much criticism from other people. Eventually, you just got to strip those layers down and go, this is me. I embrace me. And that's where I'm at. So now I've figured out that I actually want to travel more. I want to see more of the world. I want to enjoy the moments. I think that's just what matters, It's not all the objects we have. And I think that's where the downsizing organically happened. It's kind of like I don't want all these heavy attachments to me that keep me stagnant in one location. I want to be free of it. and then grab opportunities when it comes.